Hello and welcome back. I'm Dr. Lori Williams, and today I want to talk to you about channeling. So anyone can channel, and you can do this daily. You can do this multiple times a day. The biggest thing that I would suggest when you're learning to channel or to become a channel is to really learn to quiet your mind. So you don't want any kind of fearful thought coming through. You don't want any, like plans for what am I making for dinner or what do I need to go to the grocery store to get, like stuff like that. There's no space for that as you're channeling. So first and foremost, it would be my suggestion to you as a beginner would be to learn to just quiet your mind. So the best way to do this is to become the observer of your thoughts. You do not attach yourself to them. You sit in a quiet space, someplace where you're not going to be disturbed. You want to close your eyes. Closing your eyes helps you to not have any visual distractions. And you just want to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth a few times to center and ground yourself. At that point, you're going to start by just allowing yourself to receive whatever is meant to come through you. And you can set that intention as I'm opening myself up to be receptive of anything that is meant to come through to me. I would encourage you to not channel anything personal, especially starting out, because a lot of the times when it's something that we definitely want an answer to or want the guidance to, we tend to come off as a desperate energy, which actually repels the channel from coming through. It becomes a lower vibe energy, and you want to keep yourself in as much of a high vibe state as possible. So as you're observing your thoughts, you're going to recognize, like, say if it's like a thought of like what do I need to do later today, like even the big heavy things of like what am I supposed to, like, what is my purpose in life. I'm not saying that this is not a time to answer that, but as a beginner, you don't want to start off that way. So you want to just, allow your thoughts to come through. If it's a thought like, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? You're just like, okay, I don't need to think about that right now, and let that thought just pass through you. If you're struggling to let the thoughts pass through you, the best thing that I can suggest to you is to bring your focus back to your breath. So you just bring your focus back to your breathing. It's like I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, I feel the air flowing through my body, whatever it is that you want to focus on. But focusing on your breath really helps you to bring yourself back to center, and to kind of quiet all of the noise that's going on around you. So the next step would be to pay attention to the random thoughts. Like I said, be an observer, but keeping in mind your channeling can come through as random thoughts as well. So this is where it might get a little bit confusing. Things like, what am I doing for dinner? I'm not good enough. All of those kinds of things. Not that they're necessarily like what am I making for dinner isn't necessarily a low vibe thought, but it's not something that is, drastically going to change your life either, right? So it's not a thought that you need to think of right now, but your thoughts could definitely lead to the message that you need to come through. So if you have a random thought that's a very high vibe, very like happy, optimistic, empowering kind of a message, that could very well be your channel. It just depends on what your strongest clairability is. So mine personally is claircognizant, meaning I just have this inner knowing. So when I'm channeling, it's just all this stuff that comes to my head that it's almost like somebody has told me this stuff and I know it, like so matter of fact. It's like, even if somebody said, no, that's not right, it's like, I wouldn't believe them, because this is just such a, like, for sure, it's like concrete knowledge that I have. And that's the way my channels come through. But sometimes your channel's going to come through as an image. It can come through as a voice that's your own voice, your own inner voice. It also can come through as a voice that's not yours. So it just ultimately depends on what your strongest clairability is and how it's going to come through. Give yourself lots of time to practice this. Being still, being quiet, and sitting in this quietness can definitely be very uncomfortable when you're first starting. And that's why it's so important to learn to be comfortable in this space, because we're so programmed to be going from one thing to 10 that we struggle with the quietness. We struggle with the sounds or the voices, the words that are coming through us and the voices that are in our head. A lot of the times we're doing all the things so we can shut that up. And what I'm asking you to do in order to channel is the exact opposite of that. So it's going to take you some time to get comfortable. As things come up, you're going to recognize too, like, you know, different things that maybe need to be healed and need to be looked at because it's not serving you. And this is a really good time to be able to see those kinds of thoughts that are coming up, like how your mind is actually working behind the scenes, that maybe under normal circumstances you wouldn't be paying attention to what these thoughts are saying. The one thing that I want to just say is do not become attached to them. Your thoughts have no meaning until you give them meaning. So just let them flow in, let them flow out. Even if it is something of like, you know, oh, I just remembered I have to go take my car to the mechanic next week. You know, if it's something like that, yeah, that's important. You don't want to miss that appointment, but you don't need to like rush right now and go write that down. You're taking this time and this space for you. You're allowing yourself to have these messages come through. And you want to be fully present for that. Now, the next thing is just setting your intention. What do you want your channel to be? It's like, typically I just ask myself, or I just ask my higher self, of like, what is it that I need to know? Or is there any messages that I need to be receptive of today? And just see what comes through. Now, not every day, you know, sometimes I might not get it. For me, and I've actually seen other people like this as well, so this is just something else I kind of want to preface what I'm about to say with, is that a lot of the times in channel, I'm just setting the intention of what it is that I want, but it doesn't actually come through until maybe like up to like 2 or 3 days after. And this is especially true when I'm doing something that's very personal to me. It's like, as much as I say I'm open and receptive to receiving this message today, when it is personal, like I said, I now have an emotional attachment to it because it is a personal thing that I'm trying to channel. And it won't necessarily come through to me until I'm in a space of truly being receptive of that. And it's usually when you least expect it. Now, if it's just a general message, I will typically get them within about 5 minutes. But I've had to work up to that. And I don't rush this process. Don't rush the process of getting comfortable sitting in the silence, and just literally sitting with yourself and putting the very random message out there or intention out there of, you know, is there any messages I need to receive? Is there any guidance that I can maybe gain today that might help somebody else out? So whatever intention it is that you want to put out there, that's the one that you do. That's keep it as vague as possible when you're first starting. When I say vague, I don't necessarily mean vague. I mean like the least amount of personal aspect to it. You can work up to having it more personal, but to start, I definitely suggest that you don't do that. Ultimately, have fun with it. You're going to be a lot more receptive if you're having fun. If you're getting frustrated because it's not working, because, you know, or you're not getting the answers, the channeling that you are hoping to, it's going to seem more like a chore than anything kind of fun. So have fun with it. Don't have any expectations. Don't have any like expectations of it attached to the intention that you're setting. Just allow it to flow, and that's when you're going to get the most powerful responses to your channeled messages. It can definitely be a beautiful process. This essentially, you're tapping into your higher self. You're tapping into your intuition, that godlike spark of part of you, like the soul aspect of you. It's not ignoring you. It's never ignoring you. You may just need to learn how to communicate, or how yours specifically communicates, but I guarantee you it does communicate. And it's such a huge blessing to be able to channel these kinds of things and to have that connection with your soul self, with your higher self. Thanks so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will get back to them, to each of them. And I hope you have a fabulous day. And thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you back here next time.